Hello everyone, welcome to Shiva Teja Sir, and today we are going to discuss the case study related to the genetic drift. So in the past class we have seen the concept, and now if you observe, so genetic drift properly, we'll be seeing through this an example. So there were dunkers. The community used to leave. So these people were called dunkers because of their activity of dunking, completely immersing with respect to their religion of baptism. So they used to live in the west coast of Germany, and because of their distinct lifestyle and belief system, there was religious intolerance in Germany. And these people in 1719 to 1729, they migrated to the east coast of North America, that is Pennsylvania. So when they went there, after a period of time, there was modernization that was happening. So almost 100 years passed and they've reached somewhere around 50,000 plus population. So there was 50,000 plus population, and after that there was modernization that was happening, and because of this modernization, some people were accepting it, some people were rejecting it. So there was two divisions, and now the study has been conducted on these conservatives. The study has been conducted on the conservatives. When the conservatives were studied, it was seen that so it was believed that they might have had the close breeding, but so what we'll think that only conservatives are breeding within themselves, but there is evidence that there were marriages with 13% of the older dunker community. So previously considering them as one, now they are divided into progressive and conservative, but previously they are one, right? So 13% marriages were with the older dunker community and 24% were with the converts. So some people have converted from the progressive to conservatives, and some people are converted to conservative to progressives. So this study has been being done in the 1950s. So they have divided into two in 1850s, and then now it is 1950s. Now the study has been being done. So in this study, this has been observed. Now what is being done? Initially we have seen where they have come. That origins of genetics was from the Germany. So now German origins and the old conservatives. So the conservative dunkers were studied. They were studied with respect to blood samples, and they have observed that with respect to blood groups. They have observed with respect to blood groups and other markers. Different markers of blood groups or blood samples were observed. So within blood samples, you can have various markers. One is blood group and other markers such as M1 blood type. So there can be other example also like RH. So these markers are present within the blood. So now these blood samples were studied, and especially blood groups. Previously, the blood group, which was 45%, A blood group was 45% in the German origins, and now it is more than 60%. It's around 60% or more than that. And again, if you see MN blood type, so there are three varieties within MN, M, N and Mn. So in M, so if you can observe, in M it is 44.5%. It has increased from 30 to 44.5. And if you see, there is drop in Mn, and again N there is drop. So there is increase in M and others were decreasing. What you can observe that is the change in the gene or genotype frequency is happening, and this has happened only within 20 years. See, the most important thing you need to note here is that the change in the gene or genotype frequency is happening only during this last 200 to 220 years. So given this 200 to 220 years, there is no selective advantage to any of this. So there is no selective advantage to any of these groups. So because A is no way advantageous to the other blood types, but A has increased. And if you see M, N and Mn, their advantages is also not seen because of the natural changes. So environment was almost similar since then, and natural changes hasn't been seen. So this selection is no way advantageous based on the nature. So if the natural changes is not because of the selection, then obviously it has to be because of genetic drift. So whatever the changes, gene or genotype frequencies which we have seen has been attributed to the genetic drift, because the changes have happened from 1708 to 1950. So almost around 220 to 250 years, if you observe, the changes have happened within this time. So if the changes have happened within a short span and no nature has changed and natural selection has got no role, and you have seen the change in gene frequencies or genotype frequencies, that means it is attributed to genetic drift. So it is happening randomly or because of some chance. Okay, so some chance is playing, and because of that reason there is change in gene or genotype frequencies. Even if you observe within the conservative dunkers itself, okay, within the community itself, not taking the old ones, even within the same population itself, if you see one age to other age, there is change in the gene or genotype frequency. Okay, so between two ages also you can observe the change in gene or genotype frequency. So that means from here we can get to know that, okay, so there is change in the gene or genotype frequency even without the natural selection because of some random event or chance. Okay, so this example you can quote in your examination or as a case study for the genetic drift, and we'll be seeing more examples in the coming days for various topics. That's all for today. Hope you have understood, and thank you very much.